everybody in the movie's dad was a Baptist minister. You know that. But my dad was a bishop in New Orleans. And at my dad's church, any Sunday morning, you may walk in and there's Sam Cooke, Mahalia Jackson, who was like a godmother to me. I'd sit next to her in church all the time, laid on her shoulder to go to sleep, put my feet up on Linda Hopkins as a 6-year-old, you know, and the Soul Stirrers and Johnny Taylor and all these great, great singers would come through. Nat Cole would come through my dad's church. My dad was part of the Civil Rights Movement with Dr. King. So that was like the church in New Orleans that you would go to. You know, and they would all be like guest singers. There would be a guest singer every Sunday morning, and you walk into church. There's Sam Cooke singing his face off. You know.
Well, one of the things that's really interesting in terms of, and it's ironic that it comes out of church music, is as you point out here, you know, the backup singers were largely one of the powerhouses behind giving music a kick in the pants it needed. Because it's like as you show those, you know, the singers at the beginning, that's some sleepy music. And then you have these singers who add some real life and energy into it, and yet it comes out of the church.
That's right. But the church was where it was happening. I mean, if you go to a real Baptist service to this day, you know, it kicks butt over any kind of live concert. I mean,
That's right.
You know, and I've been to a number of services, and, you know, it's that style of pure passion, pure spirit, and pure soul. I mean, soul was really what they brought. And, you know, and it came along right at the right time. You know, it's right when producers like Lou Adler and others were starting to think about recording music differently, and rock was coming in. People said, we don't want to do 3-hour sessions where people, if it's not on the lead sheet, they refuse to sing a note. You know, people said, we want to stay up all night and we want to record. And, you know, there was no group better than, you know, people like Mary and the Blossoms and the Sweet Inspirations and the, you know, all these groups. Sweet Inspirations, who was Sissy Houston's group in New York, Whitney's mom.
One of the things also, too, that you know, this is such an incredibly entertaining documentary, and the music in here is amazing. And I'm also wondering, frankly, if this is one of the reasons that people haven't attempted a film like this, is because the backup singers inform so much of this music, but it's not their music. It's not, you guys don't hold a copyright. And when so it's like, how did that work out in terms of trying to get the rights for all this music?
I mean, I will say, having worked on a lot of other big music docs, both as director and producer, you know, working with, you know, the Rolling Stones or James Taylor or Pearl Jam or all these groups I've worked with, you know, when you make a documentary about somebody like the Eagles or the Stones, you know, you've got a manager and an agent and a label and a publisher and an artist who all have power and a vested interest in the film getting made. The thing about backup singers is they were disenfranchised then, and they're disenfranchised now. I mean, there's nobody that has a vested interest in the story getting told. And our greatest weapon making this film was guilt. You know?
Well played.
Yes. It's like, come on, it's time to give back.